All right, everyone, thank you for joining us today. Sorry it's taken some time here, but as you can see, Alexander Steen is sitting here ready to take your questions. He's got a quick statement, and then we'll fire away with questions.
Yeah, I just want to thank everybody for joining. I'm sorry it's taken me a little bit to get back to you guys here. We had our son a little unexpectedly wanted to come out early, and yeah, we've been back and forth between the hospital and home and trying to get everybody organized. And I just wanted to say I appreciate the patience, and you know, they're doing well, and everyone's doing good, and we're hoping to get them home here soon. So yeah, I think we can, if you'd like to fire away some questions, Mike.
Yeah, here we go.
Alexander, Jim Thomas here. Hey, congratulations on a great career and good luck in the future. Just wanted to ask you, you know, when I talked to you right before your thousands game, you said you had planned or hoped to keep playing. What might have changed along the way, and was there a tipping point in your decision to retire?
I don't know if there's. It's been an emotional time, and obviously difficult with the injury. I think there was a time there in Edmonton where I started getting some different uncomfortable referred pain, where I think I knew that it was a little bit different of an injury, and it was probably more serious. And you know, we worked at it, and you know, it just wasn't bouncing back like other injuries do, even with time off or rehab and treatment and other things. And I think that was probably the time I felt like it was the most serious. And as that continued after Edmonton, I really tried different things, and it just wasn't coming around, and kind of ultimately brought me to this, where, you know, it's not something you want to do as a player, and mentally you're still there, and your body's just not allowing you to participate in the same way anymore. I don't know if that answers your question, Jim, but that's kind of how.
Alex, this is Jeremy. About how long ago did you make your final decision? And we all know this has been your whole life and your love. Just what was it like to deal with that finality emotionally?
Yeah, it's been there's definitely times where you think that this is what the outcome is going to be, but you're kind of hopeful that it's not. But I don't know when there's no like exact day or anything. I think when that decision was made, it was just something that I had good contact with our team doctors and you know, our management with Army and everybody, and you know, just talking about how I was progressing, if I was, and things I was dealing with in everyday life, and it ultimately I just couldn't get my body to respond the way I had been able to before.
Alexander, detta är Jan Bengtsson på NHLs svenska hemsida. Hör du mig?
Jajamän, jag hör dig.
In English, have you had some time to think about the future? I mean, you dressed up as in hockey now for 30 years. How would you feel dressing up in a suit and cruising the corridors of some team in the league?
As in working in the NHL?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, right now, I mean, up until this point, our focus has my focus has pretty much just been on trying to get back to health again, and so we haven't had a ton of time to look at all those types of things. And with my wife being pregnant and going through a pandemic, there's been trying to organize all that stuff has been occupying us pretty good. But I definitely have an interest in things like that. I'm it's been emotional because I do love the game and the camaraderie and the relationships that you get through the game, and those things don't change. So I don't know. I don't really have an answer for you as far as future and things like that, but it's definitely something I'm going to look at in the future, because it is that much fun to be a part of teams or team and organization like this, for sure.
Alex, it's Lou. Congratulations on the new addition, and just want to ask you, you're a Stanley Cup champion, and you're one of 348 players to reach 1,000 games. Can you walk away from the game feeling like you accomplished everything you wanted to?
Yeah, I've obviously, like I said, it's been emotional this time, and it's given me a lot of time to sit and reflect on a lot of different things, and I'm sure I'll continue to do so. And leading up to this, it was difficult to talk about, just out of the fact that when you talk about it, it feels more finalized and decided, and I wasn't comfortable doing that. And so I'm sure there'll be more conversations with teammates and past and present, and even alumni and people that have gone through this, and reflect in that way. I do think, from what I have gone back and looked over, is the how proud I am of the groups that we had here, and there was something I spoke to our team about the other day. Our organization in Toronto too was amazing to me when I got there, with the management group and coaching staff that believed in me and gave me a chance and allowed me to get going, and to get here and everyone here. I mean, from our ownership group and management and coaching staff, and the city and community has, I know everybody says it, but I really felt at home from the start when I got here. I think the way it was just a really good fit for me personality wise, and how everybody was here, and the support they give the players of the team, because they don't really know guys like myself when we just showed up, but everyone helped from day-to-day things to longer term things, and it's always been so easy to live and play here in St. Louis. And something that going back to the original part of the question was how proud I am of the groups that we were when I was here, because I know from inside the locker room we always shared that we didn't take that lightly at all. From one, to play well for our city and our fans and people that support us in that way, to the alumni that have been here before us and really put the history in the jersey that we wore on a nightly basis, and how we respected that and wanted to keep moving that forward in a way. I'll look back on lots of memories of even, when we lost in the playoffs, and those feelings are tough when there's an empty void in yourself when you get knocked out of a playoff run. But there's times where we've looked at each other after games where we've been knocked out, and we gave it what we had, and guys were banged up and injured, and we gave each other what we had, and I feel like we all knew that. We had sort of a quiet confidence about ourselves. It's a Bortuso line, by the way, that we did that for each other, and there's a lot of those things that I've been reflecting on, more than the personal stuff. But obviously, with all that comes that great day with the cup in the city, and I'm so grateful that we were able to do that together, everyone. It felt like we all did it together, and that I think is such a special feeling. Long
Alexander, Tom Timmerman.
Yeah.
Here. First off, does the baby have a name yet?
Leon.
Leon, Leon?
Yeah. The O has a little accent on it, just to make things hard on you, Tom.
Thank you very much. Secondly, does your back hurt all the time, or is it only hurt when you play hockey, or is this day-to-day life affected?
Yeah, day-to-day life. Been conscious of my movements, of how I move and things like that. So it's day-to-day stuff too. Yeah. Thank you.
But you're well enough that you can pick up a baby?
Yes, sir. I could pick that boy up.
All right.
Yeah, Alex, Jeremy, again, there's been a few, many players that have had their career end because of injury. A couple here in town with Al and Prongs. Were you able to talk to anybody about that and just see how they made their decision and got through it, if it was one of those two guys or somebody else?
No, I haven't, JR. I didn't. It was tough I spoke with my wife and obviously kept Army as updated as I could, and our medical team here in St. Louis, and with my wife, but not like more updated on like how I was doing. There was no like talking about the decision yet, because it was like I said earlier, it was a tough one to talk about. When you start talking about it, then the decision has been made. And as you're going through these things, I can't speak for other people, but as I went through this thing, it felt like it was finalized if I did. So I didn't want to. But I will be reaching out to a lot of people, and while we're on the topic, there's a lot of people that have reached out, and it's been amazing to see how many people have reached out, and I will be getting back to everybody. It's just taking me a little time here with the little guy and my wife. So, but I'll be getting back to everybody. I apologize. It's taking a little while.
Alexander, what do you think your legacy will be in St. Louis, or maybe how would you like to be remembered as a St. Louis Blue?
It's a big question, Jim. That's I think there's a line, but there's something in a book about the All Blacks. It says that they want to leave their jersey in a better place than when they got it. And I think that's something over the last few years that I've tried to keep in the back of my head, to keep pushing that forward, and together with everybody I've played with and the organization. It's a group effort, and with the alumni, what they have done before we got the jersey, and to when you come to an organization like St. Louis, when I came, there wasn't a championship here, but there's plenty of history and a lot of people that have done a lot of things, that we're in the position we're in right now to be able to win, to have the opportunity to win the Stanley Cup, and they moved it forward, and I think as we played now with our groups, we wanted to push it forward and move it forward, and I think that's maybe when people look back at my time here in St. Louis, that we were able to do that.
As a quick follow-up to that, when you finally get to lift that cup in Boston after Game 7, was it everything you had imagined?
Yeah, and then some, Jim. That was, yeah, it's an indescribable moment. I think, you know, for my family too, I knew through my father how difficult it is to win, to even get the opportunity to have teams that are capable of competing for it year after year like we have had here. I know we've had some upsetting times where we were knocked out early, but we played some tough teams and some tough series, and you know, I think because it was my father played 14 years and I don't know that he felt as if he was knocking on that door truly, and I felt like when we were here we were given that opportunity by our ownership group and our management group, and that's also something that I haven't taken lightly while I play here, because it's been incredible, and to finally get there was, for myself too, having lived and played here for the amount of years and have the deep, meaningful relationships I have with all the people here, whether it's past or present players or in the organization, with everyone around what we do, or people in the city, restaurant owners and bar owners, and you know, every police, firemen, everyone we've gotten to know. I knew how much we all wanted this, and when we won, I feel like it felt like we all did it together, and I think that was what was so. I don't know what word to use, but I think that's why it was such an amazing feeling.
Alex, can you look back on that moment with you and your line mates and feel like that may be your proudest moment in the game, knowing the importance that you guys played in that entire run?
Yeah, I think we as a group, we just top to bottom knew what we had, and it sounds maybe easy to say now, knowing the outcome, but I still feel like during the start of the year when we were going through our tough times, like it's an interesting and fun year to reflect on because of how that season went. But I still feel like we weren't playing with a lot of confidence at the start of the year, but we had a lot of new bodies and people from the start of the season the year before, and we were a kind of a confident group. We kept talking and having conversations, and it wasn't showing, but something afterwards we can look back and see that something was building there anyways, because we kept that continuity and that conversation going, and we believed we were a strong team, even though the standings wasn't reflecting it. And then it was, you know, a few things happened there, and it just kind of snowballed, and we caught some confidence on the ice. And when we had the confidence in the room and on the ice, we knew we were a good group, and we were going to be tough to beat. And then in the end, you can't control the results, you can't control the outcomes, but I think we knew going into that playoff series, or that playoffs, all 4 series, that we were continually upping our percentage in as far as our chance at winning this thing. Does that make sense? Is that complicated? It's weird when we don't have an interaction.
Alex, you mentioned the interaction that you've had in the community with first responders, and we all know the Layla story. In addition to what you did on the ice, how much pride do you take in the fact that you have made such an impact on individuals that needed a boost in our community?
Sorry, you're gonna have to ask the question again, because I got caught, because I just realized that I didn't talk about our medical people. I answered the firemen and police officers, but our medical doctors and everything has been outstanding, and I'm seeing it firsthand right now with my son, and it is impressive how all this runs in our city. And I want to try and stay away from naming like certain names and players and friends, and because I feel like I'm going to miss people, so I'm going to try and keep that. But I want to make sure I said that. Sorry, can you please ask that question again?
Yeah, no problem. I just wanted to know, you did so much on the ice, but you made such an impact for individuals off the community, whether it was first responders. I mentioned that we all knew the Layla story, but in addition to what you did on the ice, the impact that you made off the ice in St. Louis, how much pride do you take in that?
Pride and pride. I was taught early that it comes with wearing the jersey, and I was taught it even more when I got here. The guys are alumni, and you know, people around the community, and it's something that's, you know, extremely important, and you know, the with the amount of support that we get, it's very easy to want to reciprocate or give that back and be a part of what everybody wants us to be a part of. So I think that just comes. That's you know, those situations arise where you might be needed, or you know, your time is needed, or something else, or conversation, or those are easy things to do.
Alex, while realizing there's a pandemic going on, do you plan to be around the team at all this season?
Yeah, I'd like that a lot. I'm going to try as much as I can. Right now, I got to figure out the things with my son and so forth. But yeah, I'd like to be around as much as I can.
I wanted to ask you a follow-up just about your back discomfort. Is there anything you can do, any course of treatment or anything to make that more, I don't know, palatable or?
We're working on it. Everyone's been great. We've, you know, Ray Burley and his staff with our doctors, Matava and Smith, and you know, I've worked with Dr. Wright for so many years, who's not working with us anymore. But you know, we flew in a practitioner from Canada that was helping me out in Edmonton, and you know, we're bringing in people from outside to try and help me out as well, and we're working on it.
Alex, if I could ask a question and a quick follow-up. You touched on your future. I realize you're not there yet, but
yeah.
You know, if you did work within the league, would you want to work with the Blues if that could be a possibility?
Yeah, if I worked, yes. This is my team.
And then the follow-up, could you imagine if that trade from Toronto never happened? I remember, you know, you look back and people called you the throw-in, and that deal kind of worked out pretty well for the throw-in.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a long time ago. You know, I was very fortunate in my time in Toronto too. I got to learn under a lot of veteran guys, and we were a veteran team back then. Sprinkle of younger blood in the team, and you know, Pat Quinn and his staff my first year really took me in and helped me get comfortable. And, you know, it was we went through 3 coaches there, and it just didn't seem like a fit. The trade didn't really take me by surprise. I kind of felt like it was coming, and when I got traded, I didn't know much about St. Louis. There was a different schedule then too. We were playing more in the division, so we were only going to the West one time, and I think it was like every other year. So I'd only been to St. Louis, I think, once before I got traded here, even though I'd been in the league for 3 years and a bit. So I think it was once. So I really didn't know much about it. And then right away, Big Walt took me in, made me super comfortable. It was an extremely important time in my career. And those guys, when I got here, were amazing in helping me use that opportunity and propel me into the position I'm in now. So I'm very grateful for them as well. And I mean, you guys all know who they are. There's fantastic team of character guys, and that's also goes back to what I said earlier about the city and community and how everyone's embraced us as a family, and you know, it's been super special.
Alex, I know you still have a lot to sort out here. Do you see yourself settling in St. Louis, or going back and forth to Sweden?
Yeah, it's an ongoing conversation now, I guess. It's nothing, we haven't made any sort of decisions on anything like that. It's like I said earlier, we've had a lot going on, but it's obviously going to be a family decision, and but no matter what happens, this is going to be some sort of home for me. I've been here for so long, and I honestly don't know how to answer it right now, Jim. I'm sorry. I don't want to say anything one way or the other, because we haven't made a decision, or we haven't really talked it through even.
There are a couple more questions. We'll take them. I think Alex wants to get back to the hospital, so go ahead.
Hey, Alex, I wanted to ask you, Army told us a story the other day about a meeting that you had with him after Paul Stastny got traded, about how you said, hey, I got to win. I've got to win in my career. Can you just give us your idea coming out of that meeting, what you were thinking?
Yeah, that meeting, I don't know what I was thinking. It's most of those meetings are pretty close to after the season is over, so there's still a lot of looking back on the year, and both individually and as a team, and where are we and where are we going, and there's a whole lot of things going through your head. So a lot of those talks are pretty pure emotion and feelings, and just discussions on what's going on, kind of both from my perspective and the team, and how Army views it moving forward, and I think we both felt the same way. We both needed to win, and you know, I think leaving that meeting, I think we had an understanding from both sides that that's what we were going to try to do. And then as that summer went on, I know not only as the people we were bringing in, the players we were bringing in, both on ice, and also the character of the guys we were bringing in, I think I certainly started getting excited, but you could tell within our group too that there was an excitement. And you know, when you start getting, I was in Sweden at the time of most of it going on, so I'm waking up to texts about, you know, how excited guys are, or let's go get ready, let's, you know, we're gonna have a year, things like this. You can tell that there's a buzz within the group, and you know, that's always nice to have in the summertime when you're getting ready.
Are you going to miss us?
Yes, Tom, I am, and I would like to thank you all for everything during these years, and I'm glad you guys didn't get me too emotional here today. But yeah, I want to thank you guys very much for everything, and it's been fun. And no more, you won't have guys swatting your microphones away.
Alex, we tried to get you emotional, but just one last thing. No Steen, no Bomeister, no Petro, no Jake Allen. That's a lot of experience and a lot of leadership. How do you think these Blues will do going forward?
They're going to do great. They are a tight team. They got a heck of a leadership and veteran group of guys. And I'm excited to watch and follow and you know, be a part of it a little bit more from the outside than I was before, but I'm excited. It's nothing's changing. They have, it's a high quality character group, character room, and the guys the guys know what it takes to win, and you know, are getting prepared and ready, and it's a fun group. It's a big part of the reason why this has been a little emotional for me too, is because it's such a good group, and this is I think they're going to do great things.
Still time to get a little emotional. What was the conversation like with your dad, and how tough was it to tell your two other boys?
Yeah, I think the two younger guys are probably a little excited to have Dad around more, for sure. Yeah, the conversation with my dad was good. It's been with everyone, both my parents and my wife's family, and my kiddos, has been more informing and letting them know, as opposed to, you know, there's not much for them to really weigh in on the decision or anything like that. But I think they're all excited to get me healthy again, and you know, I think the emotion part is more from, it's been a big part of your life for a long time, and you know, that definitive point when you're not going to be able to do those things anymore is a little tough to swallow, and yeah, so it's been all right.
All right, Steener. Thanks, buddy. Thanks for taking the time, and good luck with your wife and son.
Yeah, thank you very much, and again, thanks guys for everything. I really
Thanks, Alex.
truly appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Alex.
Thanks, guys.